Pinkie Hops is a difficult game to offer an opinion on, not because it's an average title that scrapes by on the usage of standard tropes and standards of play, because it's currently an unfinished game with only a short demo available for play. It also doesn't help that the demo is woefully short and can be beaten under 3 minutes, which makes it even more difficult for me to get a feel for the game and the direction it's headed in. Currently, the game doesn't have any sort of hinting at a story, but considering this is Pinkie Pie we're talking about, I'm more than willing to assume this is just something she randomly does every now and again. And let's face it, Pinkie Pie is routinely associated with random behavior.
Pinkie Pie, you are so random.
Pinkie Hops is a rather simple platform with a few advanced jumping techniques that are currently not fully utilized in anything outside of the special training room, and in my opinion, that is a mistake. It should be the goal of any platform to make the player utilize every technique to some extent over the course of the game. I only hope that future updates will include stages that make use of the advanced techniques. At the same time, I feel like the ceiling jump isn't as easy to activate or utilize in this game as intended. I often find it difficult to get any real height off of any of my ceiling jumps, which can make utilizing it to advance a bit of a pain. Another issue with the game currently is that the stages are way too short. Each of the 3 stages take less than a minute to complete, and offers very little in terms of challenge. My advice to the developer is to either up the difficulty of the stages, or to make them longer. That way the player actually feels like they're being punished to some extent when they fall into the numerous death pits spread throughout the stages. Graphically speaking, the game feels rather barren in many respects. I attribute this to the fact that all of the currently playable stages have very little to see in the background. Yeah, I realize that background art is an unnecessary nicety for a game like this, but it is something I noticed while playing the game. Another issue that bugged me, at least personally, is that Pinkie Pie can jump above the top of the screen. This issue isn't really a hindrance to advancing through the stages, but it does set off a pet peeve of mine. On the sound side of things, this game utilizes a few 8-bit versions of My Little Pony songs, and I don't really have much to say about this aspect of the game. Being unfamiliar with the show or the music associated with the franchise, I can't comment on the quality of these 8-bit renditions, nor can I comment on if they're being fully utilized to their fullest extent. I imagine they aren't currently being fully realized, since I'd argue the best usage of the songs in this game would be to match them with the background art based around locations seen in the show. Pinkie Hops has the potential to be an enjoyable little flash game, but in its current state, it's hard to rate or even recommend. The game is clearly unfinished, and the developer is asking for feedback, so if you want to help in shaping this game, then take a few minutes out of your day to play through it and leave a comment.